Welcome to Navigating Neurodiversity, the podcast where two moms, Natalie
and Carly, share the real, raw, and often beautiful journey of raising neurodivergent kids alongside their neurotypical siblings.
Here we trade perfection for connection, celebrate differences, and create a space filled with hope, inspiration, laughter, and a whole lot of heart. So grab your coffee, take a deep breath, and let's navigate this together.
I had this mom guilt for having my other kiddos in a camp during one of the days that he was home from summer school. And so I kept thinking, oh my gosh, I just dropped off, my 3 other kids at these camps that are super fun and involved. And Nolan is home from summer school on one of the days off. And I didn't have anything for him to necessarily do. So I was driving and dropping off the other 3 kids. And I had this total mom guilt. That's so not fair. Nolan should be able to go to all these other camps where these, where my other kids are going.
But I have a question. Like Mason, he would rather stay home. So I get stuck in staying home a lot because I'm like, oh, he'd rather do that. But does he not? So what's Nolan?
That's such an interesting question because I think about it, is it me? Am I asking the questions to myself? Is it my own
Is it your own perspective?
He always says when the kids, so I have 3 other kiddos that are in karate, and he always says karate, when they're all getting ready for karate. And that's a really big heartbreak for me because I think I've reached out to the same karate place and tried to get him private lessons, and it's just not something that they can do with their schedule. They have other businesses or other jobs or whatever, and they only have a set schedule at this karate place. But it's 2 seconds from my house, and my other 3 kids have been in it since they were 4. So it's kind of hard. I can't just be okay, well, so we started driving him to this other special recreation center and giving him a karate lesson once a week. But the problem was it's a 20-minute drive there and it's a 40-minute class and then a 20-minute drive back. I just feel like he spends the same exact amount of time in the car as he does at the class, and he wasn't being successful there. So I just felt like he needs private lessons to catch up with the kids. So I think I just had this in my psyche, Nolan has this extra stuff that he has to do in order to catch up with everybody. And so I had this complex, but I really, really wanted him to get to where everybody else is. It's not fair, right? So I was private lessons, but that's not working out because the company that we're going to doesn't offer that. So to answer your question in a roundabout way, to me, when he says karate, it makes me think he knows karate is today. He knows karate lessons are 2 to 3 times a week, and he is left out. So that's what I'm hearing when he says it, but maybe he's just engaging and saying karate.
Time for them to go to karate.
Yeah. So it could be that. So maybe it's just a part of my subconscious telling me something's wrong or I'm not doing good enough or whatever it is. And it's okay, maybe I need to dial it back a bit. But mom guilt is real, man.
That's the definition of mom guilt. It's mom guilt. It's not, their guilt or their, because we don't know what they're thinking half the time, but I know it's that you're trapped in.
When I had an IEP meeting a couple years ago, he was I don't know. I just see this in him and I see that in him, but it could be my own projection on him. And I was and that always stuck with me because then I was oh my gosh, thank you for sharing your vulnerability here and saying that you may be projecting these type of ideas onto my child as a student in your classroom, which is great. I'm glad you have that kind of connection and you're really trying to just make it happen. So I don't know.
That's
maybe
what life is though, right? I mean, it's always your own projection. I mean, how you perceive me is not how I perceive me, and so it is a series of projections.
That is so true. It's all about, there's 2 different words and I always get them very confused. There's perspective and perception. So to me, I'm wow, those are really similar sounding words, but they mean completely different things. Perspective is your actual view on what's happening. It has to do with your visual perception, auditory, in the actual physical realm of experiencing life, right? Perception, I think, is something more like,
Internal.
yeah, internal, and you're almost like a, do I want to say judgmental? I'm not really sure.
Editing. You're editing your world as you're experiencing it from your perception. You know, you're receiving this information and then you're making it something in your head, you're making it your own reality. And everybody has that different reality. So I feel like,
Is it the
right?
stories that we tell ourselves? Maybe that's perception, the story we tell ourselves.
Well, the tone. I mean, think about it when somebody texts you. There was that one, those comedians that are like, did you ever see that one where they're like, oh, do you want to go out tonight? And then the one guy's
yes.
like, gosh, I don't know. I don't know. I don't think, I don't, whatever. And then the one guy's like, I don't know. You know, he's taking it. It's just a text. And the one guy's so nice and friendly and thinking, oh, he's so
just
thoughtful.
chill. Yeah.
And the one guy's like, I don't know. It's whatever, you know? And it's like so true because it's like, it's you're reading somebody's text in your tone. That's why call me old school, but like I like a good old phone call. Like I'll call my sister who's younger and she'll be like, "What's wrong?" And I'm like, "Nothing's wrong. I just wanted to talk to you about it because the text is too much."
It's true.
But that's why we started doing the voice memos because then you can hear tone and you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because
100%.
yeah.
So good.
But anywho,
Oh, that is such an interesting. I'm like a big texter. Like I hate phone calls. Like my reason for hating phone calls is because like I have a problem saying goodbye or ending it. I'm like, oh, I don't want to be like rude, and be like, oh, okay, well, I'll talk to you later. Bye.
I think you think too much about that.
I know, I probably do. Anyone that calls me, I'm like, gosh, I'm not ready for that right now. And it's not really like intentionally to be like mean. It's more like I'm so nervous. Like, am I equipped for this kind of conversation right now? Because I've got my brain just pulled in like 80 different directions, whether it's like the stay-at-home mom thing or working part-time or, like whatever project is out there. It's like, I'm like, oh, I'm not ready for this. Like, I need to schedule my emotional availability.
That's interesting. No, because like I'm actually better off the cuff. And if I have to sit and edit something, that's why I hate posting things and all this stuff marketing because it's like I can talk myself out of it when I think more or anything. I am better off the cuff and more like that way where some people before you have an argument, they have to have the argument in their head, write the rough draft, edit it and see and that oh my God, it is so opposite.
Yeah, because you know what? And it's so funny because when I went to film school, I wanted to be an editor. I just love creating a atmosphere of which I can kind of have that predictability of, okay, well, this is the message I'm trying to send, so this is the message I'm trying to send with whatever I'm trying to get out there. Like I used to edit a lot of home videos with my family and my husband's family when we were dating, and it'd be goofy stuff. We'd have like really funny, like bloopers, and I'd put it all together into this super cool vibe and put it to music. And like, that's not real life, but it's like everything is jam-packed so you can visualize it and see it and experience the same emotion that these people were experiencing in the moment. And you can relive that over and over and over again. I love that. So I think the freedom of like the off-the-cuff stuff scares me a little bit.
I almost feel like when something is edited and rehearsed and fixed, I feel like it's not as real. Like I want the raw, I want the real. I want what you're thinking when you're thinking it. I don't want you to rehearse it 10 times and present it to me in like the perfect punctuation. And I want the real. I don't know why I'm obsessed with learning the real because it almost seems like it's like faked a little bit. And I know you're not being fake, but I'm just saying it almost seems like it's too much thought out. But then also I can't do that. I don't have the patience or I don't know what it is, attention to detail to be able to sit and review my thoughts and fix them. And I get option overload, like I said, with the research and stuff. So it's like, then I'm like, forget it. If I didn't just say it right now, it's not happening. It's like almost like get it out or I'm going to explode. Like I have to, my feeling, you know what I'm thinking when I'm thinking it. And I think that's raw and real, but some people call it no filter,
No,
I mean,
I like
filters.
People need that. People need the no filter. I come back home after dropping my other kiddos off at camp, and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna have a mommy and son date with Nolan. I'm gonna take him to the pool. We're gonna have like, okay, so this pool is at a health club. And I'm thinking like, okay, I'm going to, just spend the day with him. We'll go down the water slides. We're going to make it like magical. Okay. And I have all these wonderful, grandiose mom visions of how this amazing swimming experience with my son just by himself. Okay. Cause like, okay, if you have multiple children, having one just by himself or herself, you're like, this is a special mommy and me date, He's been to this pool several times this summer and we get there and he's like, go home. He's pulling everything out under the sun, like go potty, go pee pee. And usually he'll say that to get out of something. And I'm like, what is going on? So, anyways, I get to we go to the locker room, we get ready, we go out. And so he has just his swimsuit on and a shirt. So his swim trunks and a shirt. And we find our spot, which was a different spot than we typically go to, which could have been a trigger. I don't know. I start to help him take his shirt off because he's just got his swim trunks on. So I help him take his shirt off. And then he's saying no. And he loves swimming. Like I'm telling you, like if he could be anywhere, it would be the pool or the beach, anywhere with water. He like loves it. Well, he must be talking about something else. So I'm like living the dream here. I'm like, yay, we're gonna have mommy
And
time.
it's just you and him. I mean,
Yes.
maybe he had to go to the bathroom. Maybe
So-
I don't know.
I had already taken him before we got there.
Yeah.
And it's like 10 minutes away. So it wasn't like, I tried to dot my I's and cross my T's as much as I could. Okay, Nolan, let's get ready. We're going to take your shirt off. I take his shirt off and then he starts to push his pants down. And these are his trunks, his swim trunks. So there's nothing under there. Okay. I'm like, no. These are your swim trunks. This is it. We'd like, no, this is okay. And I'm pulling them up. And as I'm pulling them up, he's screaming, no, no, no. Well, I certainly don't want my 9-year-old to be exposing himself at the public pool. And I'm like, oh, no. Or let's pull your swim trunks up, and I'm pulling them up and he's pushing them down super hard. Now he's 9. He's getting way stronger. Apparently all the vitamins I'm giving you are doing something here. He's pushing super hard and I'm pulling them the opposite direction, which I'm just trying not to scare any children. That's such a vulnerable moment because it's like the other parents don't know what's going on. Like the people who work the pool are like hearing him scream no. So I'm having this chaos moment.
And were they his normal trunks? Everything was
Everything
normal.
else. Like, I don't know what happened. Maybe it was because his siblings weren't there.
And
I
you
don't
were
know.
at the top of a water slide?
No,
or
we
you
were like, we literally
just-
just got there and we put our stuff down on the chair.
Okay.
And I'm like, okay, let's take your shirt off. And then he's like, then he wanted to take his shorts off, but they're his swim trunks. And
Okay.
we typically
So
will
he
wear
didn't
those.
want to, he didn't want to be there or something.
Yeah.
But
So
you think you for sure was, that he loves it there. So you're like,
Yes.
okay, no.
I had no idea. So I'm
that-
just trying to keep him clothed. I'm like pulling his pants up and then he just loses it and he starts to grab my hair and like he's like, no, and he's ripping my hair. Literally kittens are coming out of my hair. Like
Aw.
there's so much hair. And I'm like incredibly embarrassed. I'm just screaming inside of my head and I'm thinking like, oh my gosh, like parents probably think like, what's this? What's happening here? And so of course you got like this total crazy moment where you're just thinking like, wow, I am the worst person in the world. And here I am on display for everybody else to see. And then the best part of it is I get this little tap on the shoulder and I'm like thinking like, my instant thought is like, oh, is it security? Are they going to escort me off the premises here because I'm doing something to my child? Like, I'm sorry, everybody. I'm just trying to make sure he's not exposing himself to everybody here at the pool. But I turn around and it's this woman and she's like, I thought she worked there because like it's at a health club. So she was like mega fit. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, who's this chick? She's going to like be like, excuse me, can you like leave now? Like this is like, is everything okay with your son? I'm picturing like the worst possible scenario because you're like in fight or flight mode. Your child's depantsing himself. So she comes over and the reason she came over is she literally locks eyes with me after she taps me and she says, I have a son just like yours. Can I help you in any sort of way? Is there anything I can do? And I was like, oh, it was literally like the air went out and I could just breathe again. I had thought the worst case scenario in my head. And I'm thinking, oh, geez, how else am I going to get embarrassed here? I swear I'm a good parent. I'm just trying to do a nice mommy and me date.
Yeah.
And she was there to help me. And the reason I'm sharing this story is because, gosh, that was horrible. And like, I want other moms to realize like these things happen, guys. Like this happens and you don't need to feel bad. And you know what? If you're a mom and you see this happening to another mom, this spoke miles to me. It made me think like, wow, there are moms out there that are like superhero to the rescue. Like, I see what's
Mhm.
going on here. And she's like, I was talking with those girls over there and I saw that you might need some help. And I just want you to know I have a kiddo just like your kiddo. And so just let me know what I can do. And I just told her, I just think we need to leave. I don't know what went wrong. So I need to like take his things and leave. And she helped me pack up his things and we left because I just wasn't ready emotionally for anything else that followed.
Oh, didn't we say we need like a sign? You know, like Hunger
Yes.
Games, like we need like a sign, like I get it, you know, kind of thing. Like
Ooh,
what? Yeah, like yeah, it
should we
needs to be.
should we develop a
Let's
sign?
start
I
a
think we should
sign.
totally
What
do
should
it.
it be?
I don't know, guys.
Do
Like,
we like
comment.
tap our heart? Do we, you know, tap your shoulder? What do you
Like,
do?
like raise our hand in some sort of weird way, like we're holding a white flag.
Yeah,
I
like the
mean,
middle
please.
finger.
Like,
No, I'm kidding.
like WTF, please. Like, there's got to be some sort of sign language. for
Yeah,
that.
like neurodiversity, like and
Yes, unite, diverse parents.
neuro unite.
Seriously,
Oh
though,
my
like
God, we
it's
do.
true.
We do have S's on our chest though, for real. But and I don't think it's necessarily embarrassment, but it's just knowing, you know, how we all were raised. You do normal things in public. You don't cause a scene. I mean, when I was a little brat, you don't cause a scene, you know, and so it's just kind of just having manners and respecting others. And so it's not necessarily embarrassment. It's just wanting them to do the right thing, but also not understanding.
I know it's so weird.
I
Like the
know.
social
It is.
cues.
It
like,
is. It's confusing. It's difficult. Ugh, that sounds.
But the moral of the story, I think, is like what you said. Like maybe we all just need to be there for each other. We need to have a symbol. Maybe like, you know, not all neurodiverse parents wear capes, right? But like some do. Like this chick did. She was like, I mean, maybe her kid was older and she knows what we've been through. Like, you know, Nolan's
Yeah.
9, maybe her kid's 20. Who knows? Like maybe we just need to be there for each other. I think that's the
it
moral
is.
of the story.
It is, you know. It's so hard to understand what they need and what they want. And you try to give them the cues. You try to have whatever it is, pictures, a tablet, or anything to help them explain. And it goes back to being real and raw and honest. Like you're not thinking straight sometimes when you're so emotional about something, whether you're sad or angry. You know, sometimes the right things don't come out. And I think it's just exaggerated with them. It's so hard to get what they want out. Mason, he actually says ornament. He was so mad. He's been having a couple bad days in school. He knows that when he does bad behavior, he gets a break. It makes sense when you see him doing that, but he always asks for breaks. But he can't have a break you can't have a break 20 times a day. You can have a break if you're overloaded with something, but you can't have a break just because you don't want to do your math, right? Yeah. So he keeps asking for breaks. What happens is he realized that he gets a break if he does a bad behavior. So the teacher said that he looked at him and went, like hit him like a little bit, and so that he can get a break. So now we're actually trying to teach him how to be good in school, but he realizes what it takes to get a break,
him what he
and
wants.
it's bad behavior.
You have to change out that behavior somehow. But I think that's exactly why Nolan says, gotta go potty, gotta go pee pee.
Yeah.
He would do that to get out of things as well.
So then I drew a picture when he got home. I read the school note in front of him. I had to hold it up in front of him, and I said, Mason hit the teacher and he missed morning meeting. Hitting, and I drew a stick figure of him and a stick figure of a bigger person with a hand, and I'm like hitting, and I put an equal sign, and I drew his iPad and I crossed it out. Hitting equals no shows. And so for 2 hours he was he was miserable at night. And so he was so mad, and he's going, ornament, and I don't know what he's talking about, you know, and he's like hitting. I don't know. It had to have been maybe around Christmas time. I don't know. It's like the craziest puzzle that you can't figigure out, you know.
I feel like we definitely need to like revisit that too and see if that
What is
transpires. Like, what is that?
Mhm.
What does that mean?
What is
'Cause
ornament?
everything means something.
Yeah.
Like, sorry, but it does. Like, we just act like it doesn't. At least some stuff we're like, okay, I gotta move on from this and just trudge forward. But it's true. Like, there are things we cannot forget. Like
it's got to be something that happened with an ornament or something, and then somehow that's what he says, and I'm just like,
I really can't ask about it or anything. He's not going to explain it, but I just have to go back to being, if you're going to hit, you don't get your Minecraft or your shows.
Yeah. Thank you so much for joining us today on Navigating Neurodiversity. We hope you found a little hope, a little laughter, and a lot of connection.
Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss an episode. And if you enjoyed today's conversation, please leave us a review. It helps parents like you find our community.
Until next time, remember, you're doing better than you think, and you are never alone on this journey.